Hello guys, welcome back to this tutorial. In this tutorial, we are going ahead and talk about map. Now what is a map? Map is a key value pair. So in a map, you have a key and you will also have a value corresponding to the map, to the key, sorry. So it's a little different than a set and a list. You in set or list, you only keep adding elements. But in the case of map, you have a key and have a value. So when you are going to go ahead and use this key and value, for example, you wanted to go ahead and store a list of addresses that corresponding to employee ID. So for example, an employee ID of 121, the address is 7001. So this becomes the key and this becomes the value. Similarly, if you can go ahead and say 131, this is just a number, random number, and the address. So this is the employee ID and the corresponding it's Pragya. So that's the address. So it's a key value pair. So whenever you want to store values that are to be referenced through a key, then you are going to go ahead and use a map. And the keys are of primitive data types. What do you mean by primitive data types? We already discussed it is integer and string, etc. Those are the primitive data types. So where the keys are of primitive data types, whenever you talk about a key value, then that is something we called as a map. An example, if you want to store a list of addresses that correspond to employee IDs. Now we are going to go ahead and do an example to discuss more about what is map. So let's go back to our developer console. So now we are in the developer console. So the way to create a map, so you have a key and a value. So you have to specify what is the type of the key. Is it of string type? Is it of integer type? What is the type? And you also have to specify the type of the value. So in a map, you have two things. I repeat again and again. In a map, you have two things, a key and a value. So when you are trying to use a map, or we can say declare a map, then at that time, you need to specify the type of the key and you also need to specify the type for the value also. So I'm going ahead and create a map where the key is of string type and the value is also of the type string. And the name of my map is called my strings. This is the name of my maps. And how to declare it? You can just use the same new map. And then again, you're going to say define the string, comma string, because the key is of type string and the value is also of type string. Now I am going to go ahead and initialize my map right here. So just like this is shortcut. So the key is A and the value for that is, let's say, apple. Similarly, the second element in my map is B and the value for that is, let's say, boy. So this is my map which has two elements. The key for the first element is A. For that, the value corresponding is apple. And the second key is B and the value corresponding to that is boy. So now we have created a map here. Let me increase the size. And which has two elements. So now if you wanted to go ahead and display the element which has a key of A, So how you going to go ahead and do? There is a method available. You can use something called as map value for key A. So I'm going ahead and display, it will say, so it will say my strings. Get me the value where the key is what? A. So what will it give it to me? It will give me apple. So now if you wanted to go ahead and display everything, all the elements that are there in the map, you can just go ahead and display, instead of saying the particular key, you can just display my strings like this. Everything that is there in the map, it is displayed on the screen. So now let me go ahead and execute this. So what I have done here is, first line, I am creating a map where I am defining that my key is of type string and my value is also of type string. In a map, you will have a key value pair, and right away I am initializing my key. So my key is A and the corresponding value is apple. And then I have another element where the key is B and the value is boy. Then what I'm trying to do is I want to display the element with the key of A. So what is it? It is apple. Let's say you wanted to go ahead and display the element with the key of B. So I can go ahead and say the same thing. Okay. Control C, then Control V, here also V. So I just have to go ahead and say the key is B. So what will be the value here? The value would be 1. So let's go ahead and execute. If I go to the debug here, map value, okay, window. So the map value for corresponding to A is what? Apple. And then for the B is boy. And then you have, if you want to display everything, so just have to use the name of the map and it will say A is equals to apple and B is equals to boy. So now this is the way to create a map. Now let's go ahead, and next time we are going ahead and create a map where the key is of type integer and the value is of type string. So now what we are going to do is we are going to create the map where the key is of type integer and the value is of type string. And what is the name of my map? Let's say the name of my map is hmap. And here, this is another way of creating a map. And I am again specifying the key is of type integer and the values of type string. So now I am going ahead and so now I have created a map which does not have any elements so far. Now I am going ahead and add the elements. So the method here is not add. The method here is called put. When you are adding in elements, in the case of map, you do not use add, but you use a put method. And here you will tell that, okay, my key 12, let's say, is the key and corresponding value for that key is, let's say, Chaitanya. So that is the value for this key. So what I am doing at 12, it is corresponding to Chaitanya. So for employee ID, for we have address. So here 12 has a value for Chaitanya. So this is the key and this is the value. Now I am going ahead and add my next element. So let's say my next element is same method hmap dot put, and now I am saying for the key is 2 here, and let's say the value is Rahul. So this is my second element in my map. So for the key of 2, so the key is 2 and the value is Rahul. So this is my second element that I have added. Now let's go ahead and add another one. Let's go ahead and add couple mode here. Yeah. So here, let the key be 7. You can just put any random keys. It should be number. Just make sure. You have already specified the keys should be of type number. And then you have another one. It's 49 called Ajit. And then you have next one called 3. And then you have Anch. So now what you have here is these are all the elements that you have added in this particular map. So now if you want to display all the elements, you just have to specify system.debug elements in my map, and you have to specify the name of your map and it will display all the elements. So now if I go back here and I try to run this, what's going to be the output? It is the 12. This is the value. For 2, this is the value. For 7, this is the value. So it's going ahead and show you the key value pair. So let's go ahead and run the program, and the output is going to be, go to debug only. So it's let's, so you can see the order is not the same we have added. It's just a random order. So 2 Rahul, then we have 3 Anuj, then we have 7, then 12, and then 49. So the order is in the order of the keys. So the first key is 2, then 3, then 7, then 12, and then 49. So it's order of the key. So now we have added the elements. So now let's say you wanted to go ahead and display not every element in your map, but only corresponding to a particular key. So let's say you want the element which is at key of 2. So how you go ahead and use? So let's say I am putting the value of the element which whose key is 2. So what is the element at key 2? Is Rahul. So what will be the value here? It will be Rahul. So the value would be Rahul here. So now if I go ahead and display system.debug value of where, what is the value here? It's Rahul. So I'm going ahead and display the value. Next thing you wanted to see the another one, string he is equals to hmap dot of get. You wanted to see what is the value for the key 49. So let's say the value is Ajit. So let's go ahead and put Ajit in this variable, and then you can go ahead and display the value for that variable here. So let's say we wanted to display the he variable here. He here also. So if you want to display all the elements, you can just use the name of the map and it will display you all the. But if you wanted to pick the value corresponding to a particular key, then you will use the get method and the particular key. So here a key of 2, this is the one. So what will be the value here? The value would be Rahul. Now, what is the value for the key 49? Ajit is the value. So now Ajit will be put into this variable called HE. So whenever you display it, this time it will display Ajit. Now, if you wanted to go ahead and see what is the size of my map. So there is the same method you have discussed earlier. That's the size method. So if you wanted to calculate the size of the map, you can just say hmap dot of size. So this is going ahead and gives you the size of the map. So how many elements are there? There are total of 5 elements in the size. Now, if you wanted to delete every element from the map, so you already know about a method called clear. So same method applies here as well. So in order to clear everything, in order to delete every element from the map, I'm going ahead and say hmap dot of clear. What will it do? It will delete the everything. So what will be the new size? Size would be 0 because it is going ahead and delete all the elements from your map. So the result would be 0 elements in the map. So now let's go ahead and execute. We go ahead and click on this execute button and let's go ahead and execute. Go to the debug, open our program window as well. So let's match our output. So I already told you for the key of 2, the value of Rahul, so it went ahead and displayed Rahul. Then for the 49, the value is Ajit, so it went ahead and display Ajit here at line number 11. Then what is the size here? We have 5 different elements in the map, so that's why the size is 5 here. And then we have did a clear method on the map. So that means we have removed every element. So the new size becomes 0. So there is no element left in the map. So let's meet in the next tutorial. Till then, have a good day. Bye.